open for a long time. I thought my children were perfect because I raised them myself. So until later, after a few certain incidences, is when I realized you have to be open to know that your child could do stuff that you do not know about, and you have to be open to want to listen to the other people outside there. They might not be mean people, they're just looking out for you. My two incidents are maybe my child not showing up home early as they should, or the child not showing up at all.
This is where we talk about parenting.
It's not what? The finish line. Oh, good. Okay. It's 500 meters.
Hello viewers, welcome back to our number one channel.
Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Achieng Opio. This is where we talk about parenting. This is where we make you rich with parenting knowledge, and this is also where we say parenting haina manual. So today tumebarikiwa kuwa na mrembo hapa, and Lily, thank you so much for showing up. Introduce yourself to our audience.
So my name is Lily Nzomo. I'm a mother of 3, 2 boys and 1 girl. 2 are teenagers, the other one is 8 years old.
Thank you so much for granting us this opportunity. We don't take it for granted. We learn every single day. For anyone who joins us, they get to learn from us, and we also get to learn from them. So for today, we are here to learn from you. And I'm happy you have teenagers. My goodness. Those are the people that we talk about today. It's so difficult to raise teenagers. It's so hard to understand them, and it calls for a lot of patience just to be able to understand them. Please share with us some of your challenges trying to raise these teenagers and your manageable times.
With teenagers, it's really challenging, especially if you're running the unit on your own without any help. You have to be... I was not open to someone telling me your child has done this wrong, your child has done this wrong. I was not open for a long time. I thought my children were perfect because I raised them myself. So until later, after a few certain incidences, is when I realized you have to be open to know that your child could do stuff that you do not know about, and you have to be open to want to listen to the other people outside there. They might not be mean people, they're just looking out for you. Others might be malicious, but they're those ones who are really nice. They just want to look out for you and let you know this 1, 2, 3 is happening, and you need to look out for it. I think that is this has been my latest learning experience. You have to be open to knowing your child can do other stuff that might not be in your eyes. And you have to start learning how to sort them out. You have to start learning a new language of speaking to your children, because maybe the one you have been speaking is not working. Because even with this generation of teenagers, I don't know, they are called Gen Z. These teenagers, not that they will be up in arms with you, as in when you're trying to talk to them, but you have telltale signs of body language. Sasa labda akusikizi. You can tell labda atakusikia but amepuuza. He's no ama she's just not interested in what you're saying, or she will make you think nimeelewa and I will do. Shock on you, it will not happen. Now you have to come and be now a mother and stop being a friend. You have to be because being a single parent, a man or a woman, you have to be all of them. You have to be the friend, you have to be the parent, you have to be the disciplinarian, you have to be their buddy, because you can be a friend and not a buddy. You have to be their buddy. You have to do all those things, and learning these people is not easy. It's not easy. I'm grateful that my kids have gone to boarding and they've gone to day school. So when they're in boarding, you do not really know who is coming back home. But at least when they're in day school, day to day, unamona kila siku vile anabadilika, what is happening, it is easier. I think that was the best choice I ever did for my kids, bringing them back to day school. I got to know the real them. Before, I didn't know the real them. Now I'm getting to know who exactly they are. I think that was just two of my biggest places that I went right.
Okay, so for you to be able to get to learn about this, because normally for someone to be able to learn, there has to be like a failure or like an incident that happens that opens your eyes. What happened to you? What was yours?
My 2 incidents are maybe my child not showing up home early as they should, or the child not showing up at all.
Yeah.
My first incident was with my eldest. She just never came home, and school ended at 1. She never came home, and that time she was living with my mother. So by the time I was getting home to find out, to be told that she has not shown up, we don't know where she is, her phone is off, because she was allowed to go with her phone. Her phone is off, we can't get her. I have never been so panicked in my life, because this is a girl, she's 18, she's 19, she's in Form 4, she's about to do her exams. This is a new place we've moved to. I do not know where to look for her. I know like maybe one friend. I don't know anyone else of hers. So for her, it was a complete different challenge. And how I handled it, it's just, I think, almost how many African mothers would handle it. I bet the living crap out of her. I will not lie. I bet her with anything I could get when we finally found her. Because she came home on her own and she gave me stories that didn't make sense to me. So I got physical and I really beat her, and it took the interference of my sisters to stop me, because I was feeling so lost. I was feeling desperate. I was thinking all the wrong things that could have happened to her, and I am the one who has changed her life, because I've moved her to a different estate, and it was during Corona. So many things happened and things really changed.
Yeah.
That was my first experience.
Yeah.
And I got to know there's a part of her I don't know and I have not learned, and I need to be patient and learn that side.
Okay.
And I need to know who her friends are. I need to know what crowd she moves with. She's not a bad girl. She's just very quiet. Actually, my children are very quiet. They not that they don't speak up. Ni maumbile yao. They are just quiet people.
Yeah.
They don't make noise. They don't gravel. They just keep quiet. They keep to themselves very much. So that is when I learned I need to know my daughter better.
Before you move to the second incident, the beating, did it help?
Well, it helped me.
Yeah. It helped you cool down.
It helped me cool down, because I was so frustrated, because it is going to 8 p.m. and I have not seen my child
since she left in the morning.
Since she left in the morning, and on top of that, I was not living with her then. She was living with my mother. My mother was not at home. She had gone up country, so she was with my small sister and my small brother. So for me, I was just lost. I did not know which way to go. So by the time we were all coming in with the rest of my sisters, it was around 7 p.m. is when we all started looking for her. We went to school. We were told she left at 1 with the rest of the students. So we were wondering what could be happening. Where is she? It is just a small distance from there to here. What could have happened? You know, you go walking the path that she walked, and you keep wondering, because she's not in full uniform.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
So you cannot say someone will tell she's from school. You don't know people around here. She is so naive, according to me at that time. She is so naive, I don't know.
Yeah.
So beating her helped me.
Yes.
And I believe it helped her, because I have never beaten her like that. I beat her with everything that I could take. Mpaka charger ya simu. I beat her with everything. I will not lie. I think I even pulled her hair at some point.
Yeah.
Because I was so frustrated and I was so angry at her, because she's never been such a stand.
Okay.
It helped me, and I think it helped her.
Yeah.
She got to know there's a part of mom that you cannot step on. There's a part, there's a line, there's a place you cannot go to that extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it helped, because our relationship is much better. It has grown.
Yeah.
She's more mature. She's I know what to tell her and when to tell her. You know, we forget that our children are human beings.
Yes.
I know what to tell her and what not to tell her. I know what to hold on to and how to direct her.
And you also have learned how to approach issues.
And I have learned how to approach issues with her. I am no longer violent. I am no longer... I might say something and it's not done, and I'll keep quiet. And when she realizes that I said something and it was not done, she will come and do it and keep quiet. She will let me realize that it was done. So we've come to get to know each other a bit better. Now she's in college, so it's it's better.
Yeah.
Now she's my matron. She's my right hand person in the house, so it's easier.
I'm happy. I want to get to where you are one day. You know, you have someone like a young adult in the house.
You will.
And you know, that person you've made your friend, someone who is supposed to be your child, but you're looking at them like, you know, if we talk mother to child, hatutaelewano, can we sit down like, you know, two women,
yes, and
just talk like friends. So some of these things are things that we wait to get there, and at some point we hope that our perception as parents do not interfere with us raising the children.
True.
Because if you try to, you know, think that my child is an angel, na huko nje something else is happening. So unasikia tu wakisema kwa ground vitu ni tofauti. Akikuja hapa kwako she's an angel, lakini when they get out there,
she's totally
when you meet them one day, you'll wonder whether they are still your children, right? So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that incident. We would be happy to move to the next incident.
So my next incident was very recent.
Yeah.
I had gone to comfort my friend to bury her mom, and for some reason on that day I kept my eldest son is in Form 4 right now.
Yeah.
So on Saturdays he goes to school, but for some reason that day I kept telling the sister from 2:00 in the afternoon, when he comes home, please let him call me, because first of all I needed to know if the Form 4 registration has gone on okay.
Yeah.
And then I kept just having this urge just to talk to him and know he's okay.
Yeah.
So at some point my daughter told me, Mom, he leaves school at 4, so he'll be here from around 6.
Yeah.
It didn't sink in. So I kept calling her and I kept texting her, I kept WhatsApping her. I think she just got tired, so she kept quiet. So around 6 something, she told me, Mom, by the way, he's not ajakuja home. So now I started getting uncomfortable and agitated by everyone who was around me. So I told her, in the next 30 minutes, if he's not home, please let me know. So she told me again, he's not yet here. This is not the norm of my son. He comes home. I believe he comes home straight, because when you do the calculations, he comes home straight. So at around 7:30, my boy had still not come home. He left school at 4. Now I started getting worried. My younger sister lives near me, so she came home to just check on the kids, because I told her I'm not around, so she can just pop in and check on them. So it's just the same residence, so she just came and popped in. So she texted me and told me, by the way, I'm being told Fulani has not come home, what's happening? I told her I'm even worried, I don't know what's happening. So my sister also started looking for ideas on how to look for him, because it's at night and we only know one friend of his and where he lives. We know the rest of the boys. They're like 8 boys, his friends. They're very good children. We know all of them, so we started looking for telephone numbers. We went to his phone. We started looking for numbers. My daughter had a few numbers. She started calling, and those boys now started sharing other numbers. So we all kept calling each other through that time.
Yeah.
Even there's a parent who actually called me, because she knows my son. She called me and comforted me, because she told me he's just somewhere, he will come home. You know that the parent needs comfort that time.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, I had not yet broken down. So by the time 9:30, 10 was getting, I was settling to my son is not yet home, not knowing what could be happening out there. This is a person who is he's I don't know if he's a computer person, so he never leaves the house. Leaving the house is like you're chasing him from the house. You have to tell him, enda unifanyie ndio atoke. He never leaves the house. His friends come to check on him here. He never goes to look for them. They come here. So we were all stranded. So I told my daughter, go to the laptop, check his games, because he has live games, and we've had these live games have issues. Just go check his conversations if there's something going on. We do not have his password, so no one can tell. My youngest has the password, but he has forgotten it, because now he's also in shock. He does not know where his brother is. So he's forgotten the password. Now he's switching on his phone and checking if there are any strange calls. There is no strange call. It's not only his mother's calls. There's no one who has ever called him. Actually, if we don't check on his phone, it will go off, because he never uses it. No one ever calls him. So now it was just down to God and my friends praying. So the people I was with on the other end, my friends from the other end, were really nice to me. They really prayed with me, they really encouraged me, they tried to feed me.
And you are in like a totally different county.
Totally different, so far away, 7 hours plus. And I can't leave because you have to come back as a group.
As a group, yeah.
So it is also up to them to try and comfort me, which is not easy because none of them has gone through that. None of them has had their child missing for that long. So in my head, I went through so much because I lost a cousin in the same circumstances when he was in Form 4. And in 2 days time, my uncle found my cousin in Kenyatta Hospital, and apparently his head was as big as his shoulders. My cousin did not make it. He passed on. And he was just beaten somewhere by people. It was mistaken identity. My cousin was just as cool as my child. He was just a very calm child. He was a church-going child. He was a very good person. Even from when he was just a child, he was just a very good person. So all those things started going through my mind. My mom was not doing any better. She was totally lost, but she had no choice but to be strong for me. So she never called me on that day. She couldn't because she knew my health is also not so good, so she was also worried about that, so she didn't want me to panic. So my kids went and spent my other 2 kids had to go and spend the night with my sister because they couldn't be left here alone. So we stayed the night and I could not sleep. When everyone else was asleep in that house where we were, I was seated. So my very close friend in the office who we were sharing a room with told me, do this because you're a movie person. I know you cannot sleep and we have Wi-Fi here. Just switch on your phone, put it on charger and just put a movie. Just let it stay there so that you feel like you're somewhere. But I couldn't. Every few minutes I just broke down and started crying because I was wondering maybe someone is doing something bad to my child, maybe someone is mistreating my child. I don't know what
maybe kidnapped.
Maybe someone has been kidnapped for a ransom. Then I'm like, for what ransom? We do not have any kind of money to pay for my son, you know. And I'm thinking all the things you can think, molestation. You're thinking he's locked somewhere. You know, watching movies is
which is becoming the norm today.
Yeah, watching movies and thinking of a boy, and then the boy is very quiet. And you know there's bullying in school, and these kids don't even share those experiences. So you don't know if he was bullied by one of them and taken the wrong side. So you keep the boys. The boys in his school were very good. They kept asking me, have you had anything? We are also asking around because the last time we saw him, he was walking home alone. Even one directed me to exactly where they parted ways. He told me, this is where we parted ways with your son. I went to church and he went home. And he was saying he was going to look for a mouse for his laptop. So, and he told me, and that way, that route that he had taken was a direct route to our house. So now you're left wondering, in between,
what happened here?
So the next morning, my sister woke up very early. She mobilized some boys over the phone. They started looking another side. My sister walked my son's path with my kid brother. They walked my son's path. You know, you have to go looking everywhere. They couldn't see any sign of him. So the first stop was the first police station after that. So they went and asked, gave his name. They were told, no, there's no one like that here, but we will encourage you to go to other police stations around. After you're done at the end of the day, if you have no report, even from maybe the hospital nearby, if you have no reports, please come back to us with a flyer with the boy's photo and information about him. So by that time, I was already now traveling back home. So I was keeping tabs on everyone, and even one of their deputy had actually gotten in touch with me and his class teacher. So we were all looking. So by the time I was getting to my mother's house, because I did not even come, I came straight to my house, dropped my stuff because we live nearby. I went to see my mother. So that is where now we mobilized ourselves. That was around 3, and we started going to the police station. So when we got there, when I gave the person who was there, I just gave her the flyer. She was like, even without seeing the name, she was like, this boy is here.
Where?
So we are asking her, he's here, and my sister was here in the morning and she was told he's not been here. Like, this boy has been here since yesterday night.
Wow.
So we were like, yes. Then we were asking, so why weren't we told? She said, I cannot answer you that because I'm not the one you found here. But for now, I am telling you he's here and I'm bringing him out to speak to him. So the lady brought the boy. He was okay. He looked fine. He looked okay. But he was looking so angry. So I asked him, what is it? What happened? He just said some men sprang out of nowhere and started asking us what we have in our bags. I gave them my bag. My bag had school books. I don't know, because apparently one of the boys, another boy from his school, joined him later, and they were walking home because they live in the same estate.
Yeah.
So my son's bag had school books. I don't know what the other child's bag had. I never followed. At that time, you're not following up about anyone's child. You're following up about your child.
Yeah.
So they were taken, and my son tried to resist because he was asking them, I want to know what I have done. Why you are arresting me? Plus, they do not have uniform. So the kids are scared. You guys don't have uniform. We cannot tell whether you're policemen. So at that point, one of the cops actually removed a gun and placed it on my son's head.
Oh my God.
So you see, this child was so scared because I don't know what you're going to do to me, so I'll just come along with you.
Yeah.
So he just...
And I also don't know if you're police.
I don't know. Then they were cuffed. These are 17-year-old boys cuffed without being told why they are being cuffed. Then they were taken to the car. The car was brought in. So this is, I'm reporting what he told me.
Yes.
So when they were in the car, they were being asked for our telephone numbers. My son does not, for some reason, he's never crammed my Airtel number, which is active right now. He had my other previous number, which I no longer use. So the cops kept trying to call that number. I only got a few missed calls because other people also have not that number, so I don't know who was the cop. But that phone was off, and it was at home. It was in my house.
While you were in another county.
Yes. So the cops kept telling the boys, you know, your parents will have to remove over 30,000.
Oh.
So my son asked him why. First of all, my mom can't afford that money. The reason I am walking back home is because my mother does not have that money to give me to keep going to school, and that's why I'm walking back home. We do not have that money. We told him, lazima atatoa hiyo pesa. So that is now the story until then. Then they were taken to the cop shop because none of their parents could be gotten a hold of.
Yeah.
So now in the morning, in the evening is when I'm asking my son what happened. He told me, tumeambiwa tumeshikwa kwa sababu tunarandaranda. I asked them, munarandaranda na mkona bag za shule. And unatoka tuition. The bag is actually under, as I was speaking to him, somehow I could see there were school bags under the reception of the cop shop. So I knew my son's bag was there. In my head, I'm thinking, if you saw this school, these are school boys, why not call the school?
Yeah.
Because the school is somewhere around.
Yeah.
Call the school and find out.
Yeah.
So you were told, hawezi tolewa, these other things that were found. Unajua wewe madam, you are usually told, unajua wewe madam, ujui mtoto wako. You cannot be defensive when you do not know your child. So I was like, so what else? So one cop, I actually, because my sister was getting very agitated, so I had to be the one to calm down. My sister was getting agitated because she was feeling so bad. I was here in the morning.
And you
made me go all over,
sure.
And the child is here. And then in her head, she's like, why would you do that? What were your intentions? Why would you not tell us the child is not here and he's here? Did you have other intentions? You know, she's almost coming out as being violent. So I just told her, just sit, let's wait. So we went back. So the cops told us, you know, these kids, they were found with other substances. We asked, like what other substances?
Yes.
Sasa mimi siwezi kuambia, I'm not the arresting officer. So I asked him, who is the arresting officer? Ati hayuko hapa. Si unipatie jina? Hapana. Akaniambia wacha mimi nimpigie simu. Akampigia simu, of course far away from us. So you were told, you have to remove a certain amount of money. For me, I was asked for 10,000. You have to remove 10,000. Ama kesho mtoto wako ataenda kotini kushtakiwa.
Okay.
I said he's 17. He's a minor. If anything, he should be in a separate prison from older men, because you don't know what older men can do. But of course, who is going to listen to you? You are not going to tell the police what to do. This is my country. You're not going to do that. So you will follow what they say.
Yeah.
So by then, I had already posted that my son is missing on my social media pages. My friends had taken over. My workmates had taken over. Everyone from my office was also calling and trying to find out what is happening, because everyone was shocked. You know, it's not, and when you hear someone's child is lost, everyone's mind just runs crazy because they can imagine all sorts of things.
Your head.
Yes, because they are all parents, they all have siblings, whether they are not parents, they all have cousins, nephews, so they are all thinking of everything. And they are all guardians somewhere. So everyone kept calling. So there's one particular friend of mine who called, and she asked me, what would you like us to do? Because you came through for my family so many times, what would you like us to do? It was not in form of money, but the way you came through for us, we all remember. Everybody in my family remembers. So we want to stand with you. So I told them, I've been asked for 10K. I don't have 10K. So they told me, we are going to mobilize what we can, we will send you. Ask other friends to do the same. Other friends did the same. Anyone, even as little as 100 shillings, people were sending. Everyone was sending, because in their heads they were thinking, that boy cannot sleep there, he cannot go to court because it will spoil his life. So everyone is thinking the same. And me, I had nothing. Surely at that point, where do you expect me to get 10,000?
Na umetoka safari.
Nimetoka safari.
Yeah.
I can't go back to my mother. I can't go back to my sisters. They've already done so much for me at that point.
In your absence.
In my absence, they've taken over and done everything for me. So my friends mobilized, and somehow I was able to raise some good amount of money. It didn't get to 10K, but when I went back, my sister now had softened and went and spoke to the officer. So they got along. They got to understand each other. They spoke. So he told us, when we get the money, we let him know. So we got the money. We sorted the way they wanted us to sort. I didn't want to ask any questions. All I wanted was my child. I didn't want to ask anything. So immediately we gave the money. My son was let out and we went home. We did not even, the way you think of strolling from the police. No, we walked away very fast and entered our car and we left. So when we got home, we first went to my mother, because I really needed my mom to calm down. Yeah. So we went. So my mother, she was happy to see him. She calls him her husband because he is her husband. So she was happy to see him. She asked him, she was just asleep kwa kiti. So she was so happy. She sorted him food and we sat down. Then now after a while, after we spoke, we came back home and I spoke to my son severally. We notified his friends that he's been found. We notified the school that he's been found. But it was a challenge for the school. I will not fault the school. It was a challenge. You see, now a child has been in prison. Actually, a few of you, or 2 of your students have been in prison, because there were other boys included. It makes the school question a few things about your parenting, about your child. You cannot fault the school. So when I spoke to the teacher, she gave me guidance. She told me what to do. And I did not do what I did for the sake of the school. I did what I did for the sake of my child and myself. So I went to hospital, asked them if there's a way we can do some tests for my son. I need to know if he's okay, because he can say he's okay and he's not okay.
Yes.
So the doctor asked me, what kind of test would you like to have? I told him, I informed him, I wanted to know if there's drug abuse, if my child has been molested, if anything has happened to my child. And the hospital was so good. The doctors were so good. They actually took over, took me step by step, took my boy to go, and apparently when you have that kind of test you need, the child needs to have assistant. When he's going to give the sample, there has to be a doctor or someone present. So he went with a young man, he gave his sample, and we were told that we'll be called when the sample is ready.
Yeah.
So by that time we went to school, and they had on that Monday on that Tuesday they had a clinic for Form 4s. So we went. The school allowed us to continue for the clinic, so we were there the whole day, and we had a parents meeting for Form 4. So I actually realized there are things we do not know about our sons and our daughters.
Yes.
And you cannot keep saying unajua mtoto wako ni mpole. Anaweza kuwa mpole, lakini sasa umefunga macho, umesinzia pale kwa kiti, ametoka kidogo amerudi, you will not notice. You will not know what they are doing. Yeah, and you will not know the kind of company they are keeping, because his friends come and they come in and they are good, they are amazing boys. Even I met the parents, they are amazing boys. But there's one particular child who stuck out to me, because if a child comes to knock your house at 8 p.m, ametoka kwa akienda wapi?
Akaambia mamake
amesema anaenda wapi? So when that child knocked and asked for my son at 8 p.m, I told my daughter to tell him never to come to my house at that time if he's not with his parent. Asikuje kwangu tena. that is how you know there's a bad seed somewhere.
Yes.
And that boy came again with my son. Wametoka shule, he came again with my son and dropped him. And my daughter also told my son, this boy is bad news. Please stop working with him. So he's reforming, he's changing with the help of the school. The boy is reforming, he's trying to get his life back. You cannot fault a child because you don't know what they're going through in their home. You don't know. And you're not one to judge, especially when you're in a position like mine.
Yes.
You don't judge.
Yes.
You just find a way you can help him. Because we also looked for the other parents who didn't know where their children were. We called them. We asked, like one particular, and we called her and told her, your child is here, you need to come for him. She actually came for him.
Wow.
So it's a mixed emotion kind of thing. And I came to realize boys of single mothers need mentors. Why I'm saying this is because I have not been a boy. I am not a boy, I am a girl.
Yes.
So I know what a girl goes through. I do not know what a boy goes through. I do not know. I will know maybe kwanzia when he's a baby to around maybe 4 years. But from then on, a boy child needs a man in his life.
Yes.
He needs someone to guide him.
Yes.
This is, I'm thinking, even us mothers, single mothers, we make our sons weak. One way or another, we make our sons weak, we make them soft. Because they get our feminine side. It becomes very strong in them more than the masculine side. I'm not saying a man or a boy should be violent. I'm just saying there's some masculinity that you'd like to see in your child.
Yes.
So if you're able as a single mother at that point, if you think you will never get a man in your life or get married, if you're able to get your son a mentor, do it as soon as you can. It does not have to be necessarily your brother, your uncle, your father. There are men out there who are doing mentoring. I actually know of a few and I have reached out.
Yeah.
I know of a few and they are good people.
Yeah.
I know of Mr. Flavor Mangula, is on Facebook. You can Google him. He runs some mentorship for boys. And he's very good because he's also been a single parent at some point in his life. So he was with his children on his own.
Yeah.
So he's a very good person to mentor.
Yeah.
Even if I was not able to take my son for mentoring at that time that I wanted, I actually follow him and learn a few things that sometimes I'll just throw them as tidbits to my son, just once, and let him know this is how maybe I think things should be done by men.
Yeah.
So the best thing I can tell single parents, get your sons mentors. If you're not a single father, get your son a mentor. If you're a single father raising a daughter, you need your daughter to have a mentor because you have never been a girl. So you do not know the challenges girls meet.
Yeah.
And there are those things that your daughter might not be able to tell you.
Yes.
But she can tell a mentor.
Yeah.
Maybe your sister, your cousin, your best friend if she's a girl, you know.
Yeah.
Just share mentors. Let's find the best way forward for our children. Because had you told me these things when my children were 5, 6, 7 years, huko 11 angekuwa mbona upuzi sana by the way. I can manage this on my own. Ungekata. I would tell you all the good things that I'm able to do on my own, but now I have learned different. I don't know if it's too late for my son, but I am not giving up. I'm still getting people to talk to him one-on-one. To a few of my friends, they just throw in words pale hapa na pale, but it's good. It is advisable.
Yeah. You know, they say it's never too late. And by the way, I am very happy that you've taken an opportunity to understand yourself. Before you actually take an action, you need to understand yourself. So it's good that you have understood yourself and you said, I am a girl. I was a girl at some point. I was a teenager at some point. And I was in adolescence at some point. I can tell what happened to me in adolescence, but I will never be able to tell what is happening to my son in adolescent stage.
True.
So I'm so happy, but I have a few questions. For example, you people left the police station. No one told you what kind of substances were found in his bag.
No one told us. We were not told later. Now is when my son told me. The other boy actually had bangi in his bag.
Okay. The one that knocks.
Not even in his bag. Yes, he had in his pocket.
Okay.
It's like because when they separated ways, as I said, my son is a loner. he tends to walk alone. He tends to do most of his things alone. And if he's walking, he has 2 particular boys that he will walk with, that I know. Those are the boys I know that he walks with. So he apparently left the school and went straight into a kijiji. That boy.
Okay.
My son left school and turned right, headed home. So even the boy, you remember there's a boy who said hapa ndio tuliachania na kijana wako, akaendelea na safari, akienda home he was all alone.
Yes.
This other boy went that way. They were not together. So this boy left wherever he left and ran after my son and walked together. My son didn't know what he has.
So he joined your son?
He joined my son.
Okay.
So my son didn't know anything. Even how would you suspect your classmate of having such things? Surely you've never seen him in such a position.
Yeah.
You've never heard of anything. So they were just walking home wakichapa story too, just like 2 young men.
Na kama hujawahi tumia, it might not be easy to realize.
Exactly. So later I asked my son, was he smoking? He told me no. So there's no way ingekuwa inanukia kwa nguo yako, because I even smelled my son's clothes. Akaniambia no. Well, I'm from the ghetto. I know how baggy smells. So I smelled it and there was nothing.
Yeah.
So I asked him, so where was it? Apparently it was in his pocket, his trouser pocket.
So could it be that this boy was set up?
It could be even that this boy was set up, because cops are not saints. Cops are totally not saints. So I do not know whether they set up this child just to be sure that there was something in these children's pockets. I don't know.
No, I'm actually trying to think. Maybe from wherever he got it. Someone pointed out
the cops to
yeah.
It could.
And then now your son was found in the wrong
crowd at the wrong time and he's walking home, and I'm thinking and it just blew apart. And I was asking him, so have you ever smelled, my son, have you ever smelled bangi? And I know, where would I smell it from? My son does not even know. I think he does not even know inawashwaje ama inafanya nini, because he's asthmatic. So he has no time with smoke. He has no time with things that he will inhale.
Okay.
Because at some point I was married and my husband was a smoker. But my husband never ever smoked in the presence of my children. Ever. He used to smoke outside. He used to smoke outside the house. His last cigarette was when he's leaving the office.
Yeah.
Then he comes home.
Okay.
He never used to smoke in the house. So my kids never got even to know that their father smokes. Not at least maybe if they see a cigarette somewhere, which he never even left everywhere.
Or in
only
TV, maybe.
He never, maybe just TV.
Yeah.
So that is the only smoking maybe my son has witnessed. Okay. From afar, when his father smells smoke, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that means your results when you went back for them?
Oh, they were so negative.
Okay.
They were all negative. I was laughing because I was checking the results. They test even cocaine. They test mpaka hero. They tested everything that you cannot think of.
Yeah.
All the results were negative.
Yeah, to remove all the doubt.
Just to remove all the doubt, even for me, because siju kijana anaendanga wapi saa ingine.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know maybe what company is in.
You're not with them
24/7.
Yes.
I'm not with them 24/7. They actually teach us more than me.
Yes.
So I got the results and they were all negative, and my son told me, Mom, I told you, I do not partake in those things. And I have no time for those things. And if there are boys in school doing those things, I am not part of them.
How has this affected your son?
It affected him the first few days. He used to tell me he gets kuna mali anaweza pita, maybe when you sent him huko nje or when he's going to school, his hair's at the back of his now he's alert of his surroundings. I don't think he was alert of his surroundings before, because he says this guy's popped out of nowhere. Nikambia, boss, you watch movies, don't you know you have to keep tabs of people around you? You can look at shadows and see who is following you or who is around you. This, now he's aware of his surroundings. It is easier for him. He can tell who is following him, he can tell who is around him, who is walking beside him, by just looking at shadows and just listening. It affected him. And I believe he was a bit traumatized by the cop shop. Because he kept telling us the way they kept get burning by the sun. Na hauna kiatu moja. Na uwezi toa sweta yako ati joto, utaitoa uweke wapi? No.
Yeah.
And the company, and the only thing he said is that he learned a lot from the men he found in that room. They taught them a lot. They told them stories. So they learned a lot, and it helped them calm down. Because my son was like, I didn't have anything on me. I don't know why I'm here. So he was told, you need to calm down. Shit can go south very fast over here. So you just need to calm down and wait for your parents to come for you.
Yeah.
Don't be usirudishane maneno na authority. Just keep quiet. So that is what he learned. But for me, I remember my first day going back to the office was really tough. Because the minute I entered that county of going to my office, I started panicking. Tears started coming out. I could not breathe. I had to open the window. Mpaka the driver was looking at me like, are you okay? Because that went on for around 10 minutes. For around 10 good minutes, I could not breathe properly. Tears just kept coming down.
Yeah.
And every time in the office, nilikuwa nastuka when I got to work.
You had panic.
I was panicking because I'm thinking, mtoto wangu ameenda shule and I am not at home even to receive him. I am nowhere to see how he's doing. See, hata nikiitwa haraka mahali niko is not somewhere I can get there very fast.
Yeah.
So I was panicking. At least day 1, day 2, they were not easy for me.
Yeah.
But I had someone who spoke to me. Someone found me and they spoke to me from our HR team, and she was very nice. She was very concerned, and she kept checking on me. She even checked on me this week if I'm still okay. I told her, now I'm fine. Now I'm comfortable. I'm able to feel comfortable when he goes to school, and I'm able to. And now the funny thing about this boy, I have realized he tries and makes sure he's the one who opens that door when I knock. Every time I knock, he tries. I don't think he knows he's doing that. I don't think he has realized it, but he always opens that door. I think just to make sure, he just wants to make sure his mom knows he's at home and he is safe.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that parents should be just very careful with our children.
Yeah.
They are more outgoing. They are more resourceful. In my time, because I'm a 70s child, in my time, my friend, hata kitambo utoke hiyo cop shop, ile vita unakuanga umekulwa na mzazi wako ukiwa tu hapo ndani ya polisi, my friend, you will say things even you have not done. But for now, these people are resourceful. They know how to use laptops. Our time, hata kutumia computer ilikuwa lazima usomeshwe.
Yeah.
And now they do things and they even teach you things.
Yeah.
So just yes, you can give them privacy, but interfere a bit.
Yes.
Just poke in and just check what is going on. When they're not around, check their bags. Question them, talk to them, get to know about which other new friends they have. In the case of having an older girl, prod them. Get to know if they have a boyfriend.
Yes.
Like, I have a friendship with my daughter's boyfriend.
Yes.
I do not mind it at all.
Yeah.
He even calls her, and sometimes on a video chat, and I'm told, man, kujo salimia fulani. It is not that you're letting them go astray. You're just getting to learn who your children are.
Yeah. And you're giving them the freedom to actually let you know that I have a boyfriend.
Yes. Because for me, when my mom knew I had a boyfriend, hey, yani dunia ilibomoka.
Yeah.
The photos I had of that boyfriend of mine were torn. She just shattered everything that could remind me of that guy. It was bad. And I had one boyfriend for the longest time. And I want to believe my daughter also has had that one boyfriend from when we were in that the other estate to now. Because that's the same person she talks to.
Yeah.
And if she has friends around here, she's made sure that I know them.
Yeah.
She has tried to make sure that I know them just to give me some comfort.
Yeah.
If she wants to go somewhere, which was also the same with my son back then before all this happened, utaomba ruhusa 2 weeks before. And that is what I kept telling people. My son asks for permission 2 weeks before he plans to go somewhere.
Yeah.
He will ask me, can I go? Can I hang out with this person? And I will tell him, leave their number, leave their parents' number. Let your sister know where you're going. Kama ni mali unaweza tembea uende, go with her. She needs to know exactly where you will be. For my daughter, she hardly akienda maybe after college, after she's done with her class, then she will make sure she's home early. I cannot put tags on her. She's a grown up.
Yeah.
Ni mtu ako na ID.
Yeah.
So she just needs to know this is good, this is bad.
Actually, sometimes we are told to let children go.
Just let them
Mwache aende. So that they also don't feel like I'm being policed a lot.
And then now, when they have that space, they will misbehave.
Yes.
Yeah, so you let them be.
Yeah.
Even me, one day someone asked me, so how do you do sex education with your daughter?
Yeah.
There's no daughter at that point.
Yes.
This is a woman like you.
Yes.
She's your child, yes, but she's a woman like you.
Yes.
Just tell her, don't tell her the way my mother told me, ata mvulana akikushika mkono utashika mimba. You know, and you're still doing biology, but you still believe your mother.
Yes.
Just don't tell them that. Just tell them.
Karibu andike your mother's questions kwa answers.
Because your mother is the one who knows. The teacher doesn't know.
Yeah.
So
your mom is your first teacher.
Yes, she will. I'm telling you, and I was in a mixed school. Yeah. I ended up in a mixed school because I left Western. I'm telling you, no boy ever touched my hand because they were going to get me pregnant, and I'm in Form 3.
Through touching her.
Yes. So I told my daughter the same. I didn't tell her the same thing. I just told her, sex leads to getting pregnant. And worse off, pregnancy is not the worst. The worst is getting horrible diseases that will never leave your body, that will harm you for life.
Yes.
That will make you scarred for life. My problem is not a grandchild.
Your problem
is the
consequences.
Diseases. I do not mind being called a shosho right now, but the other consequences that will shake up your health.
Yes.
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 So this is what you do. You need to have sex. Make sure you have a condom. Just make sure you have a condom. It's that simple.
Yes.
Even for the boy, I told him, you're not off the hook. Even you, a girl, can knock here and tell me that she's pregnant with your child. What will I do? Use a condom if you need to be physical. Of course, but
you've passed the message. Because actually, that the sexual education is something that I think most of us have left it with the teachers.
Yes.
The teachers will teach for exams and for results. Lakini you as a mother, you can get so open with your child. You can tell them, imagine me, I have told my child at 11, you have to be very careful. I have told her about sex. I know well, as part as what I know, that she's not sexually active just yet.
Yeah.
But I have made her aware. Because self-awareness, sexual awareness is very important.
It is very, very important. It is very important. Because I have made sure to tell my daughter, I had you at 27. And I was okay. My mother was okay. I'm not in school. I am done with school. I can actually handle being a mother at 27. So please, can we try and just get to that age? Then we can start having children. Then we can start bringing me grandchildren.
And that is what was okay for you.
That is what was okay for me.
Yes.
But the part about the health, you never stop.
You never stop.
You never stop.
But there you sing that and make sure that when they actually want to do it, it rains.
Yeah.
So it says, oh, mommy said, I need to protect myself.
You need to protect yourself.
Yeah, because we are told you don't say sex is bad.
No,
but
sex is not bad.
You say the consequences of sex.
Because I have told that sex is not bad. What you do during that sex and how you take care of yourself, hiyo ndio itakufanya ujue kama kweli ilikuwa nzuri ama ilikuwa mbaya.
Yeah.
And at the right age. I mean, when you're in college, so many things happen. There are actually girls who take care of themselves even past college.
Yeah.
And get married as virgins.
Yes.
That is usually a crazy upload. Those kinds of girls don't really exist that much. I know they're there.
Yeah.
But they are very few. But if your daughter gets to that age na ameenda college, aja kuleta hizo shenanigans, ameenda mpaka amefika miaka ya kuolewa, though I hear nowadays marriage is not in their head, I don't blame them. I don't blame them because clearly they have seen so many things that us parents have opened up to them that our mothers never opened up. Mama zetu hawakufungua uchi wao.
Yes.
But for us, we share with our children what we've gone through. Some even get to see.
Some read.
Some even read.
Some watch.
Yes.
They
see stories even in social media, it's on TV, so they see all these things. So they are able to make their choices.
Yes.
Our times, our mothers could be battered and you would not know. Anapigwa na amenyamaza. na ataamuka aoge na aende kule anaendanga.
Yes.
You will never know.
Yes, and GBV is now an open education.
Yes, now it is open.
So people talk about it like never before.
Yeah.
So as we, get closer to closing up this conversation, every time someone is a single mother, they're associated with so many things, but especially there's a lot of challenges and suffering because you're handling everything as the man and the woman at the same time. I know with all this that have happened and with all the challenges that you've shared with us, there could have also been the good side of you having to raise your children.
Yes. There's so many positives of being a single parent.
Yeah.
Number one, the children are yours.
Yes.
That is the biggest bit.
Yes.
The children are mine. I get to make the decisions with them. I get to share their time with them unconditionally. No one can come and tell me I want to take away my child. No one can come and start fighting me for custody. But with my last born, you have an arrangement with his father. It is not a hassle for us. When he wants to come pick the baby, he'll just text me. Can I come pick the baby over for the weekend? He will come and take him. We don't fight. Hizo fight ziliisha. We don't fight. It is just an understanding. But with my 2 grown children, they are mine. As in, they are mine, even in the eyes of the Lord, they are mine.
Yes.
I don't share them with anyone.
Yeah.
So I have the good perks. I am, at the end of the day, I'm their mother. I am their friend. I try to be their friend more. I try to, we chapter stories. And then on top of that, I have guardians for my younger child, which is, for me, is usually a big plus because they can look after their brother.
Yes.
So I keep telling them, God forbid something happens to me today, I will go comfortably knowing that the kids are out, have an older person to look after them. Because my daughter is 20.
Yes.
So I will know my children are safe.
Yes.
And on top of that is that having to be able to just be with them, just guide them, just talk to them, just have fun with them. When I want to go somewhere, I do not have to ask for permission.
Yeah.
Do you know, asking for permission to be with your child is very hard.
It's very hard.
It is not easy because this is my child. Why do I have to get permission? I do what I want with my children. As long as it is good in the eyes of the Lord and in the eyes of the government, I will do everything that is needed. And if I do not have, also parents need to teach their children. Kuna time hauna, your children need to learn. When you do not have, they just have to support you. And there are times actually parents will end up taking black tea and covering for their children. By the way, I never feel embarrassed doing that for my children. I never feel embarrassed because there's no time my child will be seated there and eat bread, knowing full well there's no other piece of bread, and my mother is taking it from church, she's going to sleep like that. She will share, or he will share that bread. That is some deep connection that you will not find maybe in other families, because maybe they do not understand what it feels like to not have.
Yeah.
But when you do not have, you will be able to teach your children that.
Yeah.
And when you have, trust me, children know when you have. Or they know. And they will make sure atapata kitu kutoka kwa when you have. They will make sure.
Yeah.
But having children to have on my own, I'll just tell you the biggest gift is just knowing that they're yours.
Yeah.
They're yours to talk to, they're yours to move. You can even move out of the country with your children without having to ask for any permission. You will be able to move their lives different ways in a good way, because I'm sure there's no sane person as a parent who would want to harm their child. So they will just make sure everything will go. I think the best part is that you do not have to ask for anyone's permission.
Yeah.
It should be your priority. It should be your God-given ability. You will take care of your child without asking anyone for permission. But when you are co-parenting, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It is not hard if you learn to be friends, but it is hard if you're fighting. That is all. That is the best thing I can say. But being a single parent is a challenge. It is a big challenge. It can make you go crazy in very many ways. Yeah. So single parents need to be more careful. And there are actually other single parents who are single parents but they're in marriages. You're in a marriage but you're single. You know the way you say you are in a marriage lakini bado uko peke yako. It is the same thing. You're in a marriage but you're the only one who thinks about your children. You're the only one who takes care of them. It is you who provides for them, but you're in a marriage. Those are also single parents. Just that they can't come out and say that they're single parents.
And they don't have the courage and strength to come out of this situation.
They don't have the strength and courage. If you find you have a friend like that, just be the friend. Don't be judgmental. Don't be the one who tells them to leave. A person leaves when they are ready. When it is time for them, they will leave. Just don't push anyone. And don't think single parents are handicapped in any way. We are not. We are not handicapped. And we would love to have, for me, I would love to have a partner later in life. But a partner. I would love to have that. But, and it might also work out with my husband. You never know. You don't shut doors just because you got hurt or he got hurt and you shut doors. I don't think that helps. Even carrying the bitterness doesn't help. You just need to keep working towards being positive, because you know the more you are positive to someone who is negative, hata yeye anashinda sasa huyu ninamkasirikia nini
juu ya nini,
and you become even better friends. And you don't know, these stars can be, maybe they are just aligned. At the end of the day you will be that person. So where are you going? Just make a better, sane, positive environment for you and your children. That is what I have tried, just to be positive. Sometimes life inakupiganga makofi, but you hold on.
You remain positive.
You remain positive as hard as it can be. And maybe having friends like Madam Acheng helps. Because they just pop out of nowhere near your desk and ask you, are you okay? That is enough, you know? You don't get people who just come and ask you, uko poa? You know, they'll just ask you, hi, and leave. But her, she might know why she's asking me, uko poa? You know? Someone else may not know. Having such few friends makes a difference. And once you go in a big group of friends that don't really care about you, just a small number of friends will just check up on you. Money is not everything. Just checking up on someone is enough. Hata labda mtu alikuwa ameshikilia kiuchungu kingine uko ndani ya roho, but because your friend Acheng came and said, hi, how you doing? Uko poa? How are the kids? Okay, I was just checking on you. You will be left, break down, and you'll be fine. Because that person actually just checked on you. Just that's it. Just have friends who care.
Thank you so much. And I think, my goodness, it was nice meeting you, even just coming here, and thank you for giving us this story. I sure have learned. Some of the times when I sit with people to hear their stories, I learn, and I know one day, one time, you know, you never know. There are people who have become single not because they wanted, but because they even lost their husbands, and then they are widows but single, you know. They've decided to take care of their children all alone and all that. It's a learning that it's a process any other time when you just sit to want to learn. Umelipia because you want to learn. But this point you're just seated here, you're just tunapiga story too. But I pick each point as you say them, and I say I would have never learned this if I went to sit in a class. So I thank God for you. I thank God for all the times we've spent together. It's been years and years, and all the time I have gotten a point from you, and all the times I have learned something, and all the times I have decided to, you know, become better based on what I picked from you. So thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for sitting here. I pray to God that your children, they all, you know, finish their stages smoothly, even as for us we head there, because you never know, one day they would be our children's mentors. And for that, may God bless you, and may God bless your family. And I thank God that the boy turned out to be fine, even in everything that had happened, even with all the accusations. He turned out to be fine. In his final year, may God take care of him. And may God take care of all the other children. Na wenye bado wanakuja, you know. So thank you, Lily.
Thank you so much.
I hope to have this conversation sometime again as a follow-up.
It will be so good.